Yes, it was very useful. It was also valid because there were two different metrics of valuation. So that gave us a secondary opinion on how the valuation works. And that enabled us to ensure that what we thought was a good value actually is good value. Yeah.
Good. Income and cost, I think, were the two that you're referring to, aren't they, Haider? Yeah, good. I'm glad they were helpful.
Also, what was really beneficial was having your team members. Sabrina, wasn't it?
Sabrina, yes.
Yeah, she was very good. She helped us talk through the process and also highlight the areas that we should be thinking about in terms of putting the data in. Yeah, and in terms of the platform, I think that is it's very bespoke. What we're talking about, it's not on the day-to-day stuff, so that's quite useful to have that.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words about Sabrina. I will have to pass those on as this is being recorded.
Well, it was, to be fair, it was all the stuff that you would expect to provide, which would be like the amount of cost we'd spent, the time used, right? What methodology we used on developing the platform, the technical architecture, language we used to develop it, where we host it. God, I sound like I'm technical, right? And obviously then there was the financial data, the actual spend, the time we spent it, how long it took, what we used to, like what costs were we used in the internal business to actually allocate against that. And then obviously on the income side, customer uptake, how we use the platform, how much income is generating, and also what the plans are for the future platform.
All stuff that was relatively easy to hand for you then. It wasn't anything really esoteric.
In most intents and purposes, if you're in a software development structure, you'll have all this data because you do R&D claims. And literally all that information is there. It's just piecemealing it together to make sure you have it in the right place. Yeah. Critical. As a business, before this, we were turning over around 8 or 9 million in turnover. This year, we'll turn over 35 million, and we've done that in 2 years. We've taken that step in 2 years. And so that allowed us the funding. Now, there is an element to this that one of the things the UK and Europe are very slow on is funding IP growth. Yeah. And if you look at the gorilla in the room, which is the US market, they throw money at this kind of stuff. Absolutely throw money at it, right?
Yeah, the lights are definitely coming on now because we're seeing suddenly, IP financing is getting mentioned everywhere. And people are also understanding it's all not just equity. I mean, equity's clearly got a very good role to play, but debt also does as well. And I think that is the shift that we're starting to see.
Yeah. I mean, you only have to see the amount of money in the Silicon Valley area that was being thrown at IP funding. It's just ridiculous, right? Yeah. Intrinsically, what was happening is we as a business were fairly profitable. So let's say we were generating, I don't know, between 1 and 2 million EBITDA a year per annum. Yeah. But we were using that EBITDA to fund the development because we knew we had to fund development to grow. Yeah. And that put constraint on our working capital. So where you had new customers coming on board and development, you need the extra working capital to fund the fluctuations of day to day, right? So what we were using was free that working capital to fund the development. Effectively, what the IP loan did, it was freed up our working capital to use as working capital and use the fund to development. It was like, and I think in many cases, this was literally the ideal case. Yeah. Take that fund. We're use it for funding and leave the working capital in the business to allow you to grow. And hence, guess what? We were able to do much larger deals and much bigger work with and we would take on more business because we had the funding working capital around available to do it. And also I have to be fair, we took some risks on developments, right? Now, some of those paid off, but some of them didn't. The funding, we were less worried about taking the risks. So the ones that did pay off actually really paid off. And the ones that didn't, it was all right because we'd already, because you have to go down some avenues to say, does this work? And you go down the right and then suddenly realize it doesn't work. And then you come back and start again, right? But we were able to take those risks. Yeah.
And of course, that's only really going to work, Haider, because it's long-term committed funding. It's not an overdraft or invoice financing. It's not like
short-term fund loan
that will disappear tomorrow type thing because it's short-term. Yeah.
And ours was a 3-year deal. right? So we weren't worried about the payment mechanism. We knew that we could pay it back, so it wasn't over time. And actually, in a way, it allowed us a buffer more than, it gave us that security buffer.
Yeah. And it's fantastic that you've been able to do this and coming in as a CFO, which is a fantastic organization that we like working with. So
yeah,
it's great that you've been able to do that.
Yeah, there are some good CFOs out there. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
100%, without doubt. Absolutely, without doubt. Yeah. In fact, I'm shocked there's not more people. I'm shocked there's people not battering down your door to get to this funding.
They're starting to, actually.
Yeah. Because it seems like a no-brainer to me. Why wouldn't you try and release? I mean, it's like having an asset on your balance sheet and not using it. It's like, why would you? It's like,
yes. Yeah. Just because it doesn't appear on there, it's still there. Yes, exactly.
Well, that's the other thing. It should be on the balance sheet, right? And there should be, if you're doing an R&D claim, you should be having an intangible asset on your balance sheet.
Yes. That's
because you're building a software. Otherwise, in fact, I'm surprised HMRC. That's another story from today. Yeah.
HMRC and accounting. Let's rewrite it.
Exactly. I'm surprised they don't claim. If you're claiming it, why is it on your balance sheet? Because it should be. Yeah.
Absolutely.